Hello, welcome back. I'm back online after a week hiatus. That is recording, yes. Yeah, I've taken a week off. Last week was me and my wife second wedding anniversary, so the fact it fell on a Friday, I thought kind of need to skip that week to have proper pizza dinner, which we did, because that's kind of our thing. Anyway, if you're new here, first time finding my channel, I'm late to the bid party. I'm late to the party because I mostly play older games that either I missed out on, didn't have a chance to play back in the day, or ones that I'm revisiting after having not played in a long time. Hello there, Prospina. Hello, welcome. Let's get through the usual things at the beginning of the video. I have my YouTube linked below if you would like to have a look there. All my streams are uploaded there as VODs. I usually split them in half because it gives me a couple of extra videos. I say couple, it gives me 2 videos a week I can upload at least, rather than just one big video. And I think they're actually doing better considering they're shorter ones. Yes, actually slightly easier to edit them as well, weirdly. Yeah, my playlists are linked below for all of the our previous series of streams that I've done before for the games that I've played over the last couple of years now, actually. There's my Discord if you would like to join to chat during the week. Things are a little quiet there at the moment, but give us time. If you don't get a response within like 10 minutes or so, give me like 24 hours. I'm not on there all the time. And there's also a link to my book as well if you would like to spend some pennies. I've added a command in there, donation, because I had a couple of weeks ago somebody just put in the command donation and I didn't have that one set up. So yeah, if you are looking to donate, I haven't got a donation system set up at the moment because I'm not really a big enough streamer to warrant that at present. But yeah, if you would like to spend some pennies, I have a book. Oh, excuse me. Must be leftover ditto there. But anyway, I've recently been playing a little game called Policenauts. I'm not going to switch over yet because it's just a black picture at the minute. Yeah, Policenauts was a game that came out originally, I believe, for one of the PC-88 machines or PC-93 or something. It was a Japanese-only system that became really popular for visual novels and graphical adventure games because it had such a high resolution. It was done by Konami, led by Hideo Kojima at the time. This is the Saturn version that I'm playing, which got a fan translation project completed a couple of years ago. And it's one game that I have been wanting to play for a very, very long time. I think I picked up my original copy, must have been about 2005, 2006, I think. Definitely before 2010. And I'd played a little bit into it, but because it was entirely in Japanese, I couldn't really play much at all. But since the fan translation project happened, and they've done the whole game, everything, added subtitles in all the cutscenes everywhere, one hell of a project to put that together. And yeah, I've been working my way through it over the last, what is it now, a couple of months, I think. So yes. So let's get into the game. Just make sure I've got the correct view here. As you can see, it is a black screen, but I just need to unpause the emulator. Let me go through the boot up. I love the boot up for the Saturn. I did have one back in the day. I say did, I've still got that. I didn't get it immediately when the Saturn came out though, because I didn't have the money at the time. Unemployed teenager, so relied on parents then. But yeah, I was so happy when I got it. But there were so many games I missed out on. So many. Partly because they were Japanese only. And also partly because I didn't have the money at the time. But yeah, the reason I'm actually booting the game up is because I like the intro that it does, because it gives a brief summary of what's happened previously. So, I do have the right disc in, don't I? Because it is a 3-disc game. Yes, right. Okay, right. Okay. Former Policenaut Jonathan searches for Kenzo Hojo at the request of his ex-wife Lorraine. Having confirmed the truth behind K9 from Hojo's CD, Jonathan and Ed infiltrate Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals only to discover a hidden narc factory. However, the entire thing is a setup. Jonathan is rescued from his prison van after his arrest, but is now a wanted fugitive. Ed advises him to check out a lead at BCCH. Okay, so just to expand on that a little bit, the Policenauts existed like 25, 30 years before the game is set, and Jonathan was one of them. But due to an accident, he got blasted out into space. He had an emergency cryostasis pod that he was able to get himself into, and he was found 25 years later. So he hasn't aged, but the world has gone on. His ex-wife has remarried. Hello there, Albert. Welcome. Thank you for lurching. Lurking. I wonder if I should add a lurch command just for fun. Anyway, yeah. So Jonathan becomes a private agent or private investigator back on Earth. I'll figure out what that command might do. But anyway, yeah. So the Policenauts were basically the space police of the city called Beyond Coast, which was a space station around Earth. And yeah, Jonathan, 25 years later, he hasn't aged. Everyone else has moved on, including his wife, who has remarried and has had a child as well, who just happens to be about the same age as Jonathan. Hello there, Leon. Welcome back. You've caught us right at the beginning of our stream rather than later on. How are you doing? I'm just going through a rerun of where we are in the story. So yes, after Jonathan comes back, he becomes a private investigator. But then after about 2 years, his ex-wife turns up suddenly, saying that her husband has gone missing and she wants him to investigate. A guy named Kenzo Hojo, who works for Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals. Now, she gets killed in a bomb blast immediately, and Jonathan heads up to the city to try and figure out what the hell's going on. The city has a drug problem, a drug called narc, nobody knows where it's coming from, and he starts investigating. And it turns out that, obviously spoilers for what we've played so far, but if you're watching this, I kind of think you may have seen some previous stuff, but anyway, spoilers. It turns out that Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals has been making the narc themselves and distributing it. And that's where the Hojo came in, because he was making the distribution system for secretly distributing it to the populace. And that's where we get caught, because we find the factory and it's a setup. We get arrested and then broken out, strangely. Got myself a schnitzel sandwich and I'm ready. Good. I've never had a schnitzel sandwich. I'm not even sure what schnitzel is. I'm sure someone can tell me. For some reason I'm thinking sausages. But yes. So we left it after we'd broken out the hospital. So not the hospital, after we'd broken out of the prison van with the help of Karen, who is Lorraine and Kenzo's daughter, who just happens to be the same age as Jonathan. And we've got information that there's something at the BCCH, which is the Central Hospital of Beyond Coast, and I believe that information was the autopsy results, I think. We might be able to get to see something about the autopsies of Hojo and also Ishida, who apparently, I think, they were drugged so that they died, but their bodies were kept alive so that they could be killed later on. Because that's how they set up Jonathan. Yes. Schnitzel is thin slice of meat. It's usually thinned by pounding of the meat tenderizer. Most commonly, meat is breaded before frying. I can think of a few British things that's not too dissimilar to that, but I imagine there's something about how it's prepared that's going to be quite different. But yes, I hope you enjoy that sandwich. I might have to try one at some point in the future if I get the chance. But yeah, so now we're literally starting Act 4, and we're going with Karen to BCCH to try and sneak our way in. So let's see what we can discover. Yeah, literally saved it at the beginning of the act. Thank you.
さあ、BCCH に着いたわよ。誰もいないようね。
夜の病院はいいもんじゃないな。
怖いの？
ちょっとね。
弱虫。
いや、病院は苦手なんだ。 ポリスノーツになるとき、体中を嫌っていうほど調べられたんだ。それ以来ね。
あの頃は誰でもが宇宙へ行ける時代じゃなかったものね。
君は大丈夫なのか？
私、生きたいから。生き延びたいから。検査も怖くない。
すまなかった。行こうか。
Mm. Yeah, the lengths that people had to go through in like the 70s to get into space. I dread to think what it would have been like for the Policenauts. Oh yeah, Google is our endless friend, isn't it? Especially for translation these days. Like one day they're going to get translation to the point where like the Star Trek translators will actually work. Whether they'll work quite as well, I don't know, but they'll certainly get pretty good at some point. They're almost there. But anyway, let's head inside the hospital. Oh, just gotta look. Damn it, the door's locked. Why? It was open before. That's a good point. There. It was open before, because we snuck in to the hospital to try and use the computer to read the CD, which is where we got all the information about what Hojo had been doing. And it was open. That may have been because Chris was there. Yes, there are. Still a lot of work to translate a game, though. Yeah. One of the ones I discovered recently, Lunar 2 Eternal Blue for the Saturn is getting an English translation. At the moment, I believe they've injected the text from the PlayStation version as a proof of concept to try and get it done. I think they literally only started it in February this year, so it's only a couple of months on, but it's done by the same people who did the translation for Lunar Silver Star. So that one I'm really looking forward to, because those are two games I really want to play. I've been wanting to play them for a long time. So yeah, the idea that we're going to get the Japanese version of Lunar 2 with English subtitles is just fantastic. Really looking forward to that. It's probably going to be a couple of years before we're able to play it, though, so good thing I'm patient. Yes. So yeah, what are we going to do about this door? It's alright, the emergency room entrance is always open. How convenient. But then again, Karen knows all this. That's how we're sneaking in. You see, really do you know your way around this place? What would you do without me? Probably shoot the locks off knowing Jonathan. Okay. Oh, is it that bit I like there? Yeah. You were right. The door's open. We can enter here. One thing I did discover this week is the emulator I'm using to play this actually supports both the light gun for the Saturn and the Saturn mouse. And I tried them out, but I've got problems with them. The light gun one works literally by where the mouse pointer is on the screen, but no matter what you do, there's always a pointer on screen. Even if you move the mouse off screen, it literally goes to the edge and it's still visible, and I really didn't like that. The mouse support is worse because it's completely separate from the mouse pointer on the screen, which kind of makes sense. So that was going to really be awkward to use. So I'm going to be sticking with the controller for the rest of the game, even though the shooting sections are going to be a nightmare. I don't know how many more there are. There's at least one, because I've seen a screenshot of a shooting section where you're actually shooting one of the what is it, the EMPS things, the mecha suits that the police have here. All I want is a metal. Oh, that's not displaying on my screen properly. Oh, there it is. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake reboot. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I may not know which one that is, because to me Metal Gear Solid 2 is a 3D game. But I'm not that knowledgeable about the Metal Gear games. I'm very interested in the remake of Snake Eater, though. That's come up recently. So, yes. Oh, that's decided to... The second 2D Metal Gear game. Oh, right. So you mean that the original Metal Gear from like the NES? Because I think the first Metal Gear was a NES game rather than SNES. But yeah. Yeah, I think I get the game you mean now. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, if it played like the original game, kind of like what Nintendo did with Link's Awakening, something like that could be very interesting. Just not with the cutesy graphics, obviously. Right, let's go inside.
彼、病院へ入るぞ。案内してくれ。
任しといて。
Hmm.
ロビーよ。誰もいないみたい。こんな時間だものね。
カレン、モルグはどこに？
確か地下にあるって聞いたわ。
Interesting that it's in the basement, considering the autopsies are done in zero gravity. Yes, and a very confusing timeline as well, I believe, because if I'm correct, Metal Gear Solid 5 is technically the earliest chronologically. But then again, it's Kojima, and Kojima loves his really complicated story arcs. I mean, look at Death Stranding. Right. Let's see. See if we can go to the... find our way to the morgue.
さあ、こっちよ、ジョナサン。モルグは近いよ。足元に気をつけて。
暗い階段だな。何も見えない。
大丈夫よ。私についてきて。行くわよ。
I bet it would be an article.
ここよ。この病院のモルグは。
真っ暗だ。何も見えん。
ジョナサン、どこかに電気のスイッチがあるはずよ。
わかった。手探りで探してみよう。
Oh no. Oh, I don't know how well you can see that on the screen. And there's the four things over here, which are probably the lights. There's a shoulder here I can just about see on my screen. It's quite dark, and then there's something along here. Now, knowing Kojima, there's probably going to be a thing about feeling around in the dark and it getting very inappropriate. Let's see, that's, as I say, that's the shoulder. Ow! That you, Karen? Of course it's me, I'm right here. I apologise.
何するのよ。
お？柔らかい。
そこは私の胸よ。
悪い悪い。
真面目にやってよね、ジョナサン。
Grow up, Kojima. Oh. I knew that was going to happen. What about her face? What's this? Will you please take your hands away from my face? You're not starting up again, are you? Starting up what? Are you a pervert? It's Kojima, so yes. I'm sorry I touched your... you-know-whats. Really am. Right, it's over here. Must have touched her again? Wait, this feels too muscular to be Karen. Surface is all plasticky too. What are you mumbling about? Okay, I think the lights are over this side.
ん？何かスイッチのようなパネルがあるぞ。タッチセンサーか。
スイッチに光が灯ったわ。これでいくらかは見える。
なんだカレン、そんなとこにいたのか。全然わからなかったよ。
She doesn't look happy.
わざとらしいわね。
よし。どれが電気のスイッチだろう。
慎重にね。何のスイッチかわからないんだから。
Right, okay.
よし。まずはこのスイッチからだ。ん？なんだろうこの音。
空調が作動したんじゃないかしら。
なるほど。これは空調のスイッチか。
なんだか寒いわ。
わかった。空調を切るよ。
I'd expect it to be cold in a morgue.
ジョーナさんお願いよ。しっかりして。
So... yeah, not an easy timeline. Not an easy timeline. I might get around to playing them, I'm not sure. So, these have That's the panel. Press one of the switches. All right, so they're not even labeled. Okay.
それじゃこのスイッチは
What's
どう
this
だ
one do?
警報かやばい
早く切って早く。
はあ、驚いたな。
Hmm.
驚いたわよもう。
Yeah, the alarm's gone off. So that could be a
誤報は
bad
よくあ
thing.
ることさ。俺に任せとけ。心配するな。
Now that's making me tempted
大
to
丈夫なのジ
skip
ョナサ
one.
ン。
I'm tempted to skip this one now, but then again, that might be the wrong thing to do. Let's try this one. Anyway.
次はこのスイッチだ。
慎重にねジョナサン。
落ち着けカレン。モルグに死体があっても当然だ。それにしてもさっき触ったのはこれだったのか。
私ダメこういうの。
いや待てよ。これダミーだ。よく見てみろ。
あら、ほんと作り物ね。映画の特殊メイクなんかで使うものだわ。一度スタジオで見たことがある。
どうなってるんだこの病院は。
それにしても気味悪いわね。
北条の死体を探そう。
Yeah, I was tempted about that as well, Leon. But I have a feeling it may not have gone well. Right, so we need to find where her father is. Sounds a dummy too. What about the others? Okay. Yeah, like the hospital in Snatcher. That was fun. Let's check this one out. Same deal. What about the others? Yeah, there's two others. Check this one. Same deal. What about the others?
なんだこれも偽
They're all
物だ。
fakes, every one of them.
全部そうみたいだな。
変だわ。これだけのマンモス病院なのに死体がないなんて。それにビヨンド内の異常事態はここに運ばれてくるんでしょ。
しかもカムフラージュするためにダミーの人形が吊るしてあるっていうのはどういうことだ。
And one thing I've noticed when it cuts back to the that face, the light effect is only on one side. I'm not sure if that's a glitch in the way the emulator's displaying things, or if that's deliberate. My father's body isn't here, is it? It's here in the hospital, just not where we are. And I'm starting to wonder how much Chris knew about all of this. Because I was wrong about Gates originally. I thought Gates was on our side, but then he double-crossed us. And then Chris turned up with Tokugawa at the party. So I'm not sure. yeah, I'm thinking that as well. So it's down here. It's a container for transporting lunar materials. It's got the Tokugawa logo on it. What's something like this doing here? Lunar materials. Lunar materials. There's the lunar base that's practically run by Tokugawa. Are they shipping the bodies out to... That wouldn't make sense. They'd have to have a reason. Yeah, that's... There's a window, and I guess what's inside. Look inside, okay.
どれ中に何が入
What
って
kind of shot we're going to get here? That's Victor.
ビクトル。
死んでるの。
いや肌を見ろ。おそらく脳死状態のバイオモートだ。もう死んでるのと変わらん。
どうしてわかるの。
北条もそうだったらしいってビクトルが言ってた。それに人工呼吸器が埋め込んである。
誰がこんなひどいことを。
徳川だ。ビクトルは北条のことで何かを掴んだんだ。それで口を封じられた。
So our number of allies is dwindling. That's yeah, this corporation needs to be taken down. They've and people say Activision's bad, this one's worse. Way worse. It did have the option to open it up. I don't think that's a good idea, because if he's dead in there, that's going to cause him to die. Well, the body's going to start decomposing at that point. Does that have a description? It's got destination on it. The Tokugawa No. 7 factory, Mare Ibrium. Maybe it didn't make it in time for today's flight. Tokugawa No. 7 factory. There's a big number 7 over there. I'm going to be looking at the stuff at the back at some point, but what's here? Terminal for managing the bodies. Oh, it's got a list of all the bodies that haven't been through here. This type of terminal is automated by 3D data codes. Let's see, there were 5 bodies sent to another number 7 factory on the moon today. We just missed them, they left 5 hours ago. That's not quite... we just missed them. That's... we just missed them, it was like less than an hour ago. Right. Where is this number 7 factory? Hold on, I'll check. Mare Ibrium, Plato Crater. One of the first clues we got from Hojo was Plato. Tokugawa moon plant. Why are bodies from beyond being sent to Tokugawa's moon plant? And actually that would mean that Tokugawa's got an easy way of getting rid of bodies. But why would they be moving the bodies out there? I mean, it's not like, they need the bodies to make Narc. That's pretty much a mixture of, heroin and hallucinogenics. So it might as well just be a mixture of heroin and LSD. Plato, that's it, yeah. The Plato your father was talking about before he disappeared wasn't Pluto, it was the Plato crater. I actually thought it may have been Plato as in referencing the philosopher writer from centuries ago. Or the Greek philosopher, I think he was. So was my father's body sent there too? His name's on here, he was sent there today. Right. What about Victor? Don't see him here. I'm guessing he'll be on the next flight. We'll have to go to the moon to get my father's body back, won't we? I don't think you're getting your father's body back. Maybe the ashes? Or some of them. I think we've got bigger fish to fry. Bigger bish, I almost said. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're getting anything back from the moon base. I think we'll be going to the moon base to stop everything. Yeah, all these are dummies. Yeah, why do they need dummies? Look again. What if this terminal... If what this terminal says is right, we'll have to go to the moon to find your father. Right, okay. So what's back there? It's some sort of storage container. I wonder what it's for. The door's incredibly thick. They must really want to protect what's inside. Okay, let's see if we can open it. This is probably not going to be nice. Organs.
みたいね。気味悪いわ。
Are these artificial organs? Wait a minute. Go down here.
なんだってこれはデイブの腎臓らしい。
デイブさんって
BCP の刑事だ。
That's why they took his body away.
行方不明になっていたんだ。
どうしてここにそのデイブさんの腎臓があるわけ？
Organ harvesting. Big business. It's a diagram of the body. One of the kidney areas has been highlighted in red. This is a diagram of the organs that have been removed. Any red dots represent the ones they've taken out. And it's a picture of Dave. I don't know why they'd want a picture of the donor. especially if they're doing it illegally. Kidneys, time of removal, and donor compatibility data are written here. And then there's the Tokugawa stamp. The 3 hollyhock leaves. What about this one? Is that Hojo? Ishida.
これは BCCH の石田の心臓だ。プレートにドナーのデータが記載されている。
So they took kidney, heart, and eyes by the look of it. The heart is in red. One of his kidneys, liver, and the eyes. What's that stamp there? It's got a stamp for the Tokugawa No. 7 factory on. Picture, yeah. Well, looks the same. The heart's time of removal and donor compatibility are written here. Yeah. Oh, does so Ishida's one had the No. 7 logo on it, as does this one. Tokugawa No. 7 factory. Both of these have to have come from there. Yeah, it's a complete mess, this whole thing. Both of these have to have come from there. Did they come from? Oh. The reason they're shipping them off to the factory is so that they can do the organ removal in the factory and then ship the organs back, rather than doing the removal on Beyond. But oh, look at No. 7 factory on the moon, Plato crater. Is Victor going to get sent there? Yeah. Ishida's heart. What's this liquid? Preservation fluid for storing organs for extended periods of time. It was developed as a replacement for urocolon solution. It was made by Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, they've pretty much got a monopoly on everything. After an organ was removed, they'll normally wash the blood off with a low temperature cleanser and then put it in one of these containers. Yeah, of course she knows a lot about this. Yeah, I've read up on it. It's important to me. Yeah, because she's waiting for a old bone marrow transplant. Hey, there's some droplets over here. What's this? That's dust? That looks like liquid to me. It's lunar regolith, or regolith. I'm sure of it. These containers must have been sent here along with minerals from the moon. Yeah, so they're shipping the bodies off to the moon to do the harvesting, and then they send the organs back. Lunar regolith. Yeah. Oh. I don't have an option to Sometimes you need that for a narrator in a game. But yeah, sometimes he does state some very obvious stuff. So there's something I've missed here. Oh no, I haven't actually clicked on the kidney, have I? One of Dave's kidneys. Okay.
Jonathan, 何か音がしたわ。
誰だ
Chris.
ジョナサン、撃つな。俺だ。エドだ。エド？脅かすなよ。
What's it doing here? Unless he followed us.
悪いな。こっちも慣れんのでな、こういうところは。
つけられなかったか？
大丈夫だ。メリルが俺の階段を押してくれてる。
メリルも気をつけないと危険だな。
で、どうだった？北条の死体は。
それが変なんだ。このモルグには死体がないんだ。北条の死体も。あるのは偽物の人形だけだ。みんな徳川の月面工場に送られてる。
月面工場？それは妙だ。ビクトルは？
ビクトルならそこに眠ってる。手遅れだった。
なんてこった。じいさん。まさかじいさんもバイオモートに。
そのようだ。それにデイブの腎臓がその保存庫に入ってる。月から送られてきたことになっているが、デイブはすでに解体されていたんだ。
急がないと北条の死体も唯一の物的証拠だからな、あの死体は。
エド。
ああ、すまない、カレンさん。
二人とも月面工場に行きましょう。まだ間に合うはずよ。
月か、遠いぞ。
どうやって行く？
BBC の月取材用ライセンスがあるけど。
それじゃ目立ちすぎる。俺でも指名手配の身だ。
俺に任せろ。煩わしい手続き不要のスペシャルツアーを知ってる。
カレン、君はビヨンドに残って情報操作を続けてくれ。月はまだ一般人には危険だ。
メリルに護衛させよう。しっかり頼む。俺たちがビヨンドにいるように細工してくれ。
分かったわ。なんとかやってみる。BBC の CG チームに相談してみるわ。しばらくの間なら CG 合成でごまかせるはず。
ナークカプセルの件はほんのきっかけに過ぎんかもしれん。
Yeah, there's a lot
石田の
more.
言っていたもっと恐ろしいことの意味か。
ビクトルはどうする？ここに置いていくのか？
Not much choice.
俺たちで葬ってやりたいが、今はどうにもできん。
じいさん、すまない。
先生、必ず迎えに来る。
Yeah, he must have discovered something.
とにかく月へだ。
There are 3 chapters after this one. So we're heading to the moon already? So here we go. Act 5 already? That was the whole of Act 4? These must be really short final acts then.
というわけで、徳川月面工場では月資源を国際法に基づき採掘加工し、ホームやコロニーへ供給することを目的としております。皆様の徳川へのご投資がこのように全人類に役立っているのがお分かりかと思います。紀元前ギリシャのルキアノスが月旅行の空想小説を書いてから
Still got the
うま
cigarette.
く月面工場へ潜り込めたな。しかし株主見学ツアーとは考えたもんだ。だがサルバトーレに気づかれると大変だぞ。
大丈夫だ。宇宙服を着ていれば見つからん。
宇宙服なんて着るの。
There we go. Some of the latest events, yeah, quite a lot has happened now. So it's looking like Tokugawa is not only manufacturing NARC to distribute to the people on the city, they're also killing people, sending them off to the moon to harvest their organs to then send back and trade out for organ transplant. I mean, what else are they going to be in on? I mean, well, they basically own the police because Gates was in on the whole thing. Yeah, but you're right. That cigarette is surgically attached to his his lid, although he hasn't actually been smoking it since the very first scene in the game. So I think he said he was quitting because you're not actually allowed to smoke on in space. Oh, I've got a funny feeling I'm a lot closer to the end of this than I originally thought. I sincerely hope I don't finish it tonight because that would be that'd be mad. Yeah. But yeah, let's see how much further this rabbit hole
何年
goes.
ぶりだろう。
さあ、ジョナサン、 フェイスプレートの濃度を上げろ。音声出力も変調させておくんだぞ。
分かってる。石さんのやり方なら。
しかし宇宙服を着るときぐらいタバコを離したらどうだ。
これがないと落ち着かない。
死ぬまで何かに頼って生きるつもりか。
Yeah, he is.
エド、
まあいい。サルバトーレの話を聞こう。それとなくダイナー工場について探りをやってみよう。
本来なら船内服のようなラフな格好でご案内したいのですが、当工場は宇宙ホテルのような設備が整っておりません。1気圧に油圧されていますが、安全のために宇宙服は着たままでお願いします。それでは私だけ喋っていても退屈でしょうから、皆様からの質問を頂戴したいと思います。月面工場の全貌と各設備はここから窓越しに見渡せます。皆様のバイザー内のアイポイントセンサーと連動していますので、指示は目線でわかります。さあ、どなたかご質問は。
I was literally just thinking I was going to have access to this. So this is where we're going to find out where we're going to need to go. So, oh, that's Salvatore. That's the oh, he's the cop from New York who's also been. He's the other one that's got to be in Onyx. He was with Tokugawa. I completely forgot about him. But those are solar parabolic mirrors for generating electricity. They provide a good chunk of the energy we use here. The moon takes about 27 days to orbit the Earth, so they operate for the 14 or so days of sunlight here, changing their angles according to the position of the sun. Yeah, because the moon's tidally locked, so the same point of the surface is always facing the Earth as it goes around, or it rotates at the same speed it goes around, which is why we get the weird phase, and the moon always looks the same as well. Let's see what else we can see. That's the staff quarters. The buildings here are constructed out of concrete made from lunar regolith. Concrete's an excellent material, offers protection from cosmic rays, it insulates, and it's durable. I wouldn't think it's that strong against pressure differentials, but then you can reinforce it. Concrete made from lunar regolith is over twice as strong as any concrete made on Earth. Whether that would be true or not, because I don't think anyone's made concrete from moon dust. I'd imagine it's probably the same as Earth's, but what else do we have? Something down here. That tank is used for storing substances such as liquid nitrogen, liquid hydrogen, liquid nitrogen. Why did I read nitrogen first? We're presently not using that factory for manufacturing purposes, which means it is being used for something. It's just they don't want anyone knowing about it, so that's where we've got to go. You think I'm right? I like your thinking. Right, there's a big ramp up there. That's the mass driver, a gigantic catapult driven by a linear motor. To put it simply, it launches payloads towards L2 at speeds of over 2.4 kilometers per second. That's not much of a run up to get up to that kind of speed. The G-force on that must be incredible. L2, I imagine, is probably the Lagrange point. The Lagrange points being those bits in orbits which are stable, where all the orbits or the gravity evens out. And I think there's 4 of them, or 3 or 4 of them, around Earth. The new James Webb telescope is currently sitting on one of those. That's why a lot of people have been talking about them recently. Okay, that object that looks like a track is an acceleration rail that launches linear motor cars, also called buckets. The rail is almost 7 kilometers long. Yeah, but to get up to 2.5 kilometers per second, it'd have to accelerate that in less than 4 seconds. That'll be some ridiculous G-force. So that there, it doesn't use any liquid hydrogen or liquid oxygen for fuel, so it's more economical than rocket-based transportation. The materials are caught by a mass catcher at L2. That's Earth up there. Let's see what it says there. Synchronization of the Earth's sidereal or sidereal rotation and revolution periods means that Earth is always visible from here. Being able to see Earth, or home as it's often called, is a comfort for those who work on the moon. And I think that's the first part of this game where it's explicitly stated that when they say home, they mean Earth. I figured it out early on because of how they were using it, but it was a bit confusing to begin with. Oh, there's a little thing next to the offices there. Our windows are reinforced with 3 layers of 2-inch thick lead glass to help protect against the high levels of cosmic radiation here. Man, that model at the Tokugawa building captured every detail of the real thing. Okay. That's going a bit heavy-handed. It's being used solely as a makeshift warehouse at the moment. It's nothing there of interest. Tokugawa shareholders must have a lot of free time if they can afford to come to a place like this. Well, how much did it cost Ed? I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see. That's Salvatore. We can't let them catch us. Let's stay toward the back. The acceleration G-force though would still be pretty massive. Yeah, that's something I was wondering for Subpoena. How'd they get off? I think, yeah, they somehow managed to get them on this tour. Ed managed to get them onto this tour, but how they managed to do that, I don't know. That hasn't been explained. This has kind of hurtled along a bit, which is one of the things that's making me wonder whether I'm actually into the end game already, because this is supposed to have 7 chapters, but chapter 4 literally took less than an hour. And when you consider what Act 1 took 2.5 streams, I think. This is falling into one of those classic things of the beginning of the game is really dragged out, but then the end of the game is like really constricted. Stay towards the back. No one's asking me questions. Their eyes are probably glazed over. Should we try asking something? Yeah, I mean, right now I've got the option to break the glass, which I don't particularly want to do at the minute, not without safe scanning. Yeah, let's overwrite. Let's see what happens if I try to break the glass. This glass can't be broken with your bare hands. Okay. It isn't like what you see in them old sci-fi movies. Yeah. At the very least, you would need some sort of tool to break it, like perhaps a firearm that I don't believe they would have been able to take with them. Okay. Even with the level of protection, shutters are automatically lowered during periods of intense solar flare. Activity to provide additional reinforcement. There's no loss of energy due to atmospheric absorption, so they can collect 1.5 times more energy than similar mirrors on Earth. We also use solar energy in making concrete used for construction here. I'm happy to take any questions on areas beside the plant facilities. Okay. Okay. Okay, we employ a helium air conditioning system. The panels you see fitted to the plant's ceilings are filled with refrigerated helium, cooling the facility with their radiation. Okay, what about Earth? Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what thing I've got to do to trigger the next part of the thing, because it's clearly I've got to do a certain number of interactions to trigger it to move on to the next part. It's about 3 times bigger than the size the moon appears from Earth, because I think Earth is about 3.7 times the size of the moon. If you were looking at it from nearer one of the polar regions, it would appear stationary all year. Yeah. I'd imagine it's somewhere between. Some of it is reasonable, some of it just nonsense. I mean, this was written in the mid-90s, and the first version of the game came out in 94. So, yeah, some of it would have been completely made up. Okay. Right, I feel like I've exhausted all the questions I can ask. I thought we were trying to keep a... talk to him. Excuse me, can I ask a question? Yes, you back there. Ask about... Nice to see someone finally ask a question. Go ahead, ask anything you want. Okay, right. So, got some conversation bits to go through about the plant. Oh, bloody hell. How many do I have to go to? Plant location. Factories. I like to think keyboard is in the same room. Right, we have a total of 7 factories on the moon, numbered from 1 through 7. Number 7 is the one we want to get to. Each factory manufactures a variety of moon-related products around the clock. Ask about plant factory number 7.
第7工場は何をやっているところですか？カタログにも載っていないんですが。
第7工場。さっきポインティングしてた工場のことですか？
The one not being used.
あそこは採掘した鉱石などをしまっておく倉庫だったんです。
Isn't that where you said it's currently being used?
枯れてるんでしょう。ゲイウムスさんもね。
よくご存知ですね。以前の話ですよ。今は閉鎖されています。汚染廃棄物の捨て場になっています。今は第6工場までしか稼働していません。それはそうと、あなたの音声出力は少し変ですね。後で係の者に言ってください。
Just know there are certain areas I can't touch upon for confidential reasons. Thank you in advance for your understanding. Spacesuits you're wearing are semi-hard extravehicular mobility units, or EMUs, made from materials such as aluminium alloys and stainless steel. That composition allows the suit's internal pressure to be at 0.7 bar, thus reducing the depressurization time on spaceships and space bases. Okay. Important points. In the interest of safety, please do not go near any of the restricted areas. The number 7 factory is particularly dangerous due to the contaminated material stored inside, which is how they're keeping people away. So it sounds like a robot. I don't quite know why, but for some reason these spacesuits have voice modulators to basically hide someone's voice. I don't quite know why they're there within the realm of the universe, but it was there originally because Ishida was using the modulator to hide his identity when we originally met him at the museum, and Ed and Jonathan are using it now to hide their voices from Salvatore, who would probably recognise them. Yes, and yeah, they're telling people that factory number 7 is dangerous to keep people away, but that's where they're doing all their organ harvesting. Ask about moon. Anybody else have any questions? It's number 7 I was talking about. Right, okay, I need to... hugely knowledgeable. It's not that uncommon, I'd imagine. Yeah. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're killing people, sending them off to the moon so that they can harvest their organs and send them back. So it's kind of accurate for what they are doing. Yeah, that would be the way to call it if you're doing it properly. Like, managing things in a way that is ethical, so not killing people to take their organs, which is what they're doing here. So, yeah, mind if I ask another question? You have a question, do you? Okay, right. Yeah, so for proper organ recycling, you'd have to have all regulations and things and controls to make sure it's all done properly. And it's still something we struggle with now. Yeah, I suppose that's what Tokugawa said. Yeah. Yeah, it's about the money, son. Right, okay. Well, let's just work our way through. Right, Tokugawa Moon Plant is located on the near side of the moon in the Plato crater, which is itself situated on the northern shore of Mare Ibrium, the moon's second largest mare. Mare is a female horse. Mare Ibrium means Sea of Rains. Okay. Plato crater is approximately 100 kilometers diameter. Its smooth floor widely known as one of the darkest places on the moon. Okay. The way it's spelt though is it's M-E... It was spelt M-E-R-E, I believe. Or was it M-A-R-E? I'd have to look back through the video. Okay, moving on to... Yeah, asking about the... Actually, you can ask about things multiple times, so I think I'm just going to work my way through everything. It's a considerable distance to the nearest base, so you could say we're pretty isolated here. Yeah, good thing too. The only way to get there is by LSM from the Lunar Orbital Space Station. Okay. Yep, that's all I've got from that. Energy. The plant is powered by solar energy as well as helium-3 nuclear fusion. We gather solar energy through the parabolic mirrors you were looking at. Helium-3 is almost non-existent on Earth, but is found in relatively large quantities here on Earth, or here on the Moon. I nearly said here on Earth there. We're able to produce 1 kilo of helium-3 from 100,000 tons of lunar regolith. That doesn't sound like a very good yield to me. 1 kilogram for every 100,000 tons. Now, if that's metric tons, that's like 1 to a billion. 1 in a billion. That's, yeah. I think he may have actually been wearing fur as well in the party where we met him. And yeah, I think he may have been wearing some kind of leather. Then again, I want to talk, I do have a leather jacket myself. Ask about the energy again. Helium-3 nuclear fusion, unlike conventional nuclear fission, is a virtually clean process that doesn't give off any secondary radiation. Okay. Yeah, that's the same thing already. I've exhausted that one. So operations. There are numerous minerals found in abundance on the moon, such as ilmenite, for example. That might not be a real one. Yeah, quite probably. We mine and process these, and what we don't use here is exported to Earth. The space colonies such as beyond. Nearly all the minerals used to construct the plant have come from lunar resources. After processing, the materials are exported via the mass driver you were looking at. Yeah. Operations. The moon with its low gravity, ultra-low temperature and high vacuum sterile environment allows us to manufacture made-on-the-moon drugs and other products with very high purity. And that also leads into the narc production. Yeah. And actually mentioning the synth music, I'm actually getting Blade Runner vibes now that I'm listening to it properly. And something I've just thought of, the body's being brought to yeah, the body's being brought to the moon. I wonder if the poppies are being oh no, they had the whole process in the factory, didn't they? The factory that we found at Tokugawa Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, so, I mean, there's got to be some kind of link between bringing the bodies and also with NARC. Unless it's just two sides of the operation of what they're doing. Yeah, because they talk about manufacturing moon drugs and other products with very high purity. Yeah, because it would make sense for them to want to manufacture NARC on the moon. and then the body bringing the bodies down will bring the ingredients, manufacture, and then the organs to bring it back. Let's go out to operations again. We've also been charged with overseeing various life science experiments. Since no organisms naturally exist here, there's no risk of contamination, and its vacuum environment also eliminates possibility of a biohazard occurring. Narc was the highly addictive drug that Beyond has a major problem with. They don't know where it comes from, and there are lots of people who are taking it and are addicted to it. But the reality was that Tokugawa themselves are manufacturing it, and they're distributing it to keep people addicted. They want to include it in their normal drugs to get people addicted to them, so that they'll spend more, because it's a privatized medication system where everything is literally sold at profit. So if somebody needs drugs to survive, they have to pay premium for it. And they're including this highly addictive narcotic in there, and they've been finding ways to hide it as well. So it can stay away from, so the authorities can stay away from it. But then again, they've got the police on side, considering Gates, the head of the chief of police, is in on the whole thing. So yeah, this is quite a messed up situation. Yeah, because we went from every three, yeah, but the only link at the moment between the narc production and the organ harvesting is the fact it's being done by Tokugawa. But I know what Kojima's like with his writing. The two of them are linked somehow. Let's keep going. See if there's anything more. We carry out such non-production related operations under the watchful eye of United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. That's quite an acronym there. That's everything I'm going to get from that. So, the star. The employees we have working here include computer engineers, geologists, astronomers, physicists, biologists, chemists, space medical scientists, doctors, architects, and security officers such as myself. We're all employees of the Tokugawa Corp. Yeah, because it is a corp. Not a group, it's a corp. Anything more about the star? We have a little under 60 employees in total. 60 employees who might not survive what's going to be happening soon, I wonder. We're inspected by the UN twice a year, but apart from that, it's just us up here. There's no intervening government organisations, which means you can pretty much do whatever you want. No policing. Right, that's everything from that. So the factories... the inside of the factories all contain sensitive business information, so I'm afraid I'm unable to show you inside any of them. Okay, for instance, I'm sure you're aware that the very effective helium-3 purification process in use here is a patent of the Tokugawa Group. What a surprise. Quite possibly. Anything more? No, okay, so number 7 again. It's no longer being used for production, even so I'm unable to show you inside. Okay, you have to settle for looking at it from here. Right, so that's everything for the plant. So the moon, data. Right, the moon's radius is 1,738 kilometres, or 1/4 of Earth's average distance from Earth. And its orbit at a speed of just over 1 kilometre per second. Its gravity is 1/6 of Earth, and its mass is 1/81st. If the mass is 1/81st, shouldn't the gravity also be that kind of proportion down, unless I'm getting my math wrong? But anyway, asking too much into it. Yeah, if you've got a subject of interest, you'll know a lot of information about it. It's like, I know people who absolutely love football. They can rattle off footballers' names that I've never heard of. But I can talk for hours about games, because I love games. Yeah, so everyone's got knowledge about things that they're really interested in. It's easier to learn things if you're interested as well. That's one thing I've found. I don't think I want to go through the data. Let's look at the surroundings. To the far southeast, you will find Mare Tranquilitas, or Sea of Tranquility. Yeah, I was just thinking that, Sea of Tranquility, where astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin landed near the equator with Apollo 11. The footprints left behind have been preserved and are now a famous tourist destination, along with the flag that got knocked down when they launched. Okay, ask surroundings. To the west of here, you can see the beautiful Sinus Iridium, which translates to Rainbow Bay. Located just to the south is Archimedes Crater. A city that will house some 10,000 people is currently under construction there. It's scheduled to be completed in about 10 years' time. That's quite a construction time. Right, development. It's been over 70 years since the first Apollo landing, and over 30 years since man returned to the moon and completed the first manned moon base, located in Oceanus Procellarum, or Ocean of Storms. Going by the 5-stage plan for lunar development proposed by German space engineer Dr. Kraft Erich, we have finally arrived at the 4th stage as we attempt to expand manufacturing capabilities and improving living environment on the moon. Yeah, there is that, but also remember both Star Trek and Mass Effect were a lot further in the future. This is 2040, whereas those were at least a couple of hundred years in the future. But I also like the fact this is not too unreasonable, even by today's standards. Like 25 years after the game came out, this is still not that unreasonable for how far the future is. I've only ever played Halo 1, and that was a long time ago, back when it first came out, I think. So, wasn't a big fan of those ones. Okay. The origin of the moon. Let's see what information they got there. Several theories regarding the origin of the moon. Giant impact theory states the moon was the result of a collision between two celestial bodies. Then there's the fission theory, which says the moon was once a part of the Earth. There's also the co-formation theory, which states the moon was formed out of the same gas as Earth. Another theory, the capture theory, says that the moon was captured by Earth's gravitational pull. As of now, no theory has been proven correct. Yeah, I mean, actually think about it, there's got to be a period in the future which hasn't been covered by sci-fi by much. There's got to be some years that haven't been covered in some science fiction. It's probably an interesting thing to investigate. Could be one hell of a project to do. Yeah, I want to find out what I've got to do to move on from this point as well. Okay, spacesuits. You may find them somewhat difficult to move in, but various parts like the arms, legs and boots are made out of materials such as polyester and urethane resin, which I think helps keep any real discomfort to a minimum. Also, the soles of your boots and carpeting inside the plant are both covered in Velcro, making it easier to walk. Velcro boots. Rather than magnetic boots, it's Velcro boots. So there's no way you'd be able to be stealthy in those. That's actually a genius idea. Okay. I can assure you they're completely safe. Like the outside walls of space colonies and this plant, they're covered in optical fibre. Should any dents or cracks form in the suit, that fibre will bend, activating an alarm. We can prevent any accidents resulting from wearing the metal before they occur. Okay. Very important points. On the moon, one day lasts about 1 month. This tends to upset humans' circadian rhythm, or our rhythm of life. This can lead to fatigue as well as bring about various changes in the body. You should try to maintain a regular daily schedule and stick to suggested sleeping hours while on the moon. Okay. I wonder. Yeah. All the floors that you're supposed to walk on are covered in Velcro. And also, as I say, an alternative to magnetised boots, which is one of the most common ways of doing gravity. Actually, yeah, it would be terrible to clean. But it'd be terrible for trying to be stealthy. Every time you're walking around, just every step, that would get annoying. Okay, unfortunately, that's about all the time we have. Okay, so we're moving on from this point. So we'll be moving on now. System is your sleep-wake cycle. I had a feeling that was the case. I'd imagine the best way to manage that is you literally just have like the normal 24-hour clock, and you just make sure that like announcements and things are done to keep things going in that cycle. You wouldn't have to worry about unsociable hours for working like nights or something. But now, I don't know what's going to happen when we move on from here, but I think, considering it's nearly 8:15, I'm going to have 8:15. I'm going to quit for my break now. Not completely. I like to have a short break through my stream because the wife doesn't want me sitting down for too long, so I need to get up. But yeah, this has hurtled along a bit quicker than I anticipated. I was expecting Act 4 to basically cover the whole of this evening. I wasn't expecting it to be done in less than an hour, which is making me wonder we're going to get to the end of the game possibly next week, which is going to be a lot quicker than I thought. I thought I had about 3 streams at least left, maybe 4, but I've been wrong about some of the games I've done in the past. But anyway, for those watching on YouTube, that would be the end of this part of the VOD. For everyone who is on Twitch right now, let's just... I've made a few changes to my holding screen, more from my side with the controls, because last time I streamed 2 weeks ago, it broke, and I didn't have time to fix it, so I kind of had to bodge how to do it last time. But I've got it fixed, as you saw at the beginning, and is working. And yeah, I've just set it up for the break. Yeah, there are all the links below, like my YouTube, VODs, Discord, and my book if you would like to have a look at those. But I will be back, for those of you who are on Twitch right now, I'll be back in about 10 minutes where we will get to see what happens next. So don't go anywhere.